DreamWorks Animation is one of the most recognizable names in modern animated film, but its story is bigger than one green ogre, one panda, or one dragon-riding Viking. The studio grew from an ambitious 1990s Hollywood experiment into a major animation powerhouse with dozens of feature films, global franchises, Academy Awards, and a complicated corporate journey. Today, DreamWorks Animation is owned by Comcast's NBCUniversal and operates as part of Universal Pictures, within the larger Universal Filmed Entertainment Group. That means the studio that once tried to challenge the animation establishment now sits inside one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world. To understand DreamWorks, you have to look at how it was formed, how it changed animation culture, and how its characters became long-running brands. DreamWorks Animation began on October 12, 1994, as a division of DreamWorks Pictures. DreamWorks Pictures itself was founded with huge Hollywood ambition, and animation was part of that vision from the start. The new animation division was built with talent connected to Amblin Entertainment's former animation branch, Amblimation. That background mattered because it gave the young studio a foundation of experienced artists and production knowledge rather than starting completely from scratch. In the 1990s, feature animation was becoming a major box office force again, and DreamWorks wanted a seat at that table. Instead of simply making children's films, the company positioned itself as a serious competitor in theatrical animation, willing to take creative risks and build stories with broad audience appeal. The studio's first feature film was Ants, released on October 2, 1998. That debut is important because it signaled the direction DreamWorks would often take: computer animation, celebrity voice casts, fast humor, and stories designed to reach both kids and adults. Ants arrived during a period when computer-generated animation was still relatively new as a feature film format, so every major release helped define what audiences expected from CG storytelling. DreamWorks did not enter the market quietly. It wanted its films to feel contemporary and slightly sharper than the traditional fairy tale formula associated with older animation studios. That attitude became part of the company's identity, even as its artistic style and business strategy evolved. In its early years, DreamWorks Animation did not rely on one single technique. The studio produced traditionally animated films, computer-animated films, and stop-motion co-productions. One of its major hand-drawn projects was The Prince of Egypt, a film that showed DreamWorks could approach animation with sweeping drama, large-scale music, and serious themes. The studio also partnered with Aardman Animations on 3 stop-motion co-productions, including Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. These projects made DreamWorks harder to categorize. It was not only chasing computer animation trends, it was testing different forms of animated storytelling. That variety helped the studio build credibility beyond simple franchise entertainment. The major turning point came with Shrek. The Shrek franchise helped define DreamWorks Animation's public image: irreverent, self-aware, funny, and willing to poke fun at fairy tale traditions. Shrek 2, released in 2004, became especially significant because it was the highest-grossing animated film at the time of its release. That kind of success changed the studio's status. DreamWorks was no longer just an ambitious challenger. It had a blockbuster franchise that could compete at the very top of the animation business. Shrek also proved that animated movies could be built around parody, pop culture, and layered humor while still delivering emotional storytelling and broad family appeal. On October 27, 2004, DreamWorks Animation was spun off into a separate company. This was a major business milestone because it gave the animation studio a clearer identity outside the broader DreamWorks Pictures operation. A separate company could focus on building a pipeline of animated features, managing franchises, and developing its own long-term strategy. At the same time, independence also increased pressure. Feature animation is expensive, slow, and risky. A studio needs years of development, hundreds of artists and technicians, and consistent box office performance to stay healthy. DreamWorks Animation's spin-off reflected both confidence in its potential and the high stakes of competing in theatrical animation. After Shrek, DreamWorks built a franchise engine. Madagascar brought audiences a group of zoo animals thrown into wild new environments. Kung Fu Panda turned a clumsy noodle-loving panda into a martial arts hero. How to Train Your Dragon created a more emotional adventure identity, centered on friendship, courage, and the bond between humans and dragons. Trolls leaned into music, color, and pop energy. The Bad Guys added a slick crime comedy style. These franchises show DreamWorks' range. Some are comedy first, some are action-adventure, and some are deeply emotional. The studio's strength has often been its ability to create characters that can support sequels, spin-offs, merchandise, and long-term audience loyalty. DreamWorks Animation has also earned serious recognition from the film industry. Its productions have received 3 Academy Awards and numerous Annie Awards, along with multiple Golden Globe and BAFTA nominations. Awards matter because they show that the studio's impact is not measured only by ticket sales. Films like The Prince of Egypt, Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and major franchise entries helped prove that DreamWorks could produce work with artistic and technical merit. In animation, craft is everywhere: character performance, lighting, storyboarding, editing, voice direction, music, and world design. DreamWorks Awards history reflects the scale of collaboration behind films that can appear effortless on screen. The studio's technology story is just as important as its characters. In the beginning, DreamWorks experimented with traditional animation, stop-motion partnerships, and CG filmmaking. But since 2006, the studio has relied exclusively on computer animation for its feature output. That shift reflected the wider direction of the industry, where CG became the dominant language of mainstream animated movies. Computer animation allowed DreamWorks to build increasingly detailed worlds, stylized characters, complex action, and expressive performances. Still, the door is not completely closed on older methods. In 2022, President Margie Cohn stated that the studio is open to traditional animation, suggesting that DreamWorks sees technique as a creative choice, not just a production formula. DreamWorks Animation's distribution history reveals how much the studio's business changed over time. Its films were originally distributed by DreamWorks Pictures until 2005. From 2006 to 2012, Paramount Pictures handled distribution. Then 20th Century Fox took over from 2013 to 2017, before that company later became 20th Century Studios under Disney ownership. These shifts mattered because distribution determines how films reach theaters, how marketing is managed, and how libraries are controlled. For audiences, the logo before the movie may feel like a small detail. For a studio, distribution partnerships can shape release strategy, international reach, and the financial outcome of every film. In 2016, NBCUniversal acquired DreamWorks Animation for $3.8 billion. That acquisition moved DreamWorks into a new era under Comcast's entertainment empire and aligned it with Universal Pictures. Most DreamWorks Animation films from 2019 onward have been released through Universal Pictures, which also owns the rights to the studio's back catalog. This gave Universal a powerful animation library and a portfolio of well-known franchises. For DreamWorks, the deal meant access to the resources of a larger media company, including global distribution, theme park possibilities, streaming opportunities, and cross-platform brand management. The rebellious studio of the 1990s had become a core asset inside a major corporate entertainment structure. By the article's count, DreamWorks Animation has produced 54 feature films, from Ants in 1998 to Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie in 2025. Its listed upcoming slate includes Forgotten Island, Cocomelon, the movie, a live-action remake of How to Train Your Dragon 2, Shrek 5, Donkey, and 2 untitled films scheduled for later release dates. That slate says a lot about DreamWorks today. The studio is balancing original projects, preschool-friendly brands, live-action adaptations, and legacy franchises. DreamWorks Animation's story is not just about making animated films, it is about adapting to new audiences, new owners, new technologies, and new business models while keeping familiar characters alive for the next generation. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.